Stephanie and Lucy here with Minimalist Mom Life. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do for you guys a video about my approach to baby stuff, kind of the minimalist approach to what do you really need when you're going to have a baby. So this is kind of from 0 to 12 months, like the first year of life. If you're new to my channel, Lucy is my 4th baby and she is 8 weeks old and she is the 9th little one that we have had. So we've been foster parents. So we have 4 forever children, but we have had a total of 9 children in and out of our home. So this is not my first time to be a mom and give you this opinion, but it still is just my opinion. So if there are products that you love, keep on loving them. But if you are a first-time mom or about to have your second baby or whatever the case may be, and you're wondering what you need or what you don't need, or if you're really trying to keep it minimal or on a budget, then this is maybe a good list for you. Either way, this is what I love. You're free to love what you love. So my must-haves, first I have them written down, of course, because mommy brain, are a car seat. You have to have a car seat if you have a car, obviously. A crib has been a must-have for us. Lucy is doing great sleeping in her crib from day 1, so that has been good. I will, full disclosure, we had a bassinet in our room, and the only reason we had that is we were given it for free from a friend who was moving and getting rid of it, and it was nice because it was a smaller size. And at that point we had Lucy's crib in here, which is a shared room with my newly 2-year-old little boy. But she outgrew that very quickly, and so at about 4 weeks old we got rid of that, passed that on actually to another person, and then what is now her crib that was right in this exact location where this glider is now in our room, and it will stay in our room till she's probably about 6 months old, and then we'll move her over into the room here with Elliot. This glider was on the other wall, which again I will link the room tour below because that also shows exactly what we have. Like, you can see it, what it looks like, because in this I'm just going to sit down and talk through what we have. Anyways, so that has been great. I am sitting in my next item, which is a glider, a rocker. And this is not, I would say, an absolute essential. We didn't have it with my first son or some of our foster children, but I have loved it. We got it before we had Elliot a couple years ago, and it has been wonderful to be able to just have a seat in the boys' room in the nursery. This is also where the toys are kept right now. So it's been great to have somewhere soft to sit other than the floor when I'm playing with them. And of course, when I was nursing Elliot, it was great. Now with Lucy, I spend so much time in this chair. She likes to nurse all the time and she loves to be rocked. So I'm in here playing Legos or building blocks from this seat. I'm reading books. I'm doing flashcards with the boys, puzzles, you name it, from this chair while I'm able to nurse her very comfortably. And Elliot still loves to be rocked at night often too. So love this chair. Not an essential, but if you can afford one or someone wants to give something to you for your baby, I would say it's great. The nice thing about this one is that it looks like a regular chair, and so when I no longer have babies, it's very easily something I can move to another room. And you do hear my 3-year-old singing songs. He's right over there playing, so good old background noise. The next item that I have loved is a stroller. We have a double jogging stroller, and it has been great. I don't particularly love to jog with my kids. I am a runner, but I like to have that time to myself or have them running with me. But I like it because it's just really sturdy, easy to move along any kind of terrain. Yeah, it's great. The next item, now this is my absolute must have for my motherhood, is a way to wear my baby. I am not a fan of wraps. Full disclosure, again, I've only tried the Moby wrap, but I didn't like it at all. But I have the cheaper version of like an Ergo or a Lily Baby. It's just an Infantino. I think they sell them at Walmart. I'm not sure on that one. But I have bought mine from Target. They last a really long time. They're great. They have like the infant insert so that you can wear the baby even when they're smaller and their hips are tinier without hurting them. So I love that. Lucy is almost always being worn or being carried by me, or she's sleeping in her crib. And that being because we have no bouncers, no swings, no mamaroos, no rock and plays, anything like that. I've just not found them to be great with my babies. I feel like babies always would prefer to be held, and your babies are young for such a brief amount of time that I would love to be the one holding them before they get too big for my lap and my arms. So nothing against if you want those things. For me, they've just not been great. I will say, we had a rock and play with Elliot, and I thought that would be like a good comparable item to like a bassinet, because we didn't have a bassinet with him at first, and I thought maybe he would like that. And we got it at like a baby shower, and I think he was in it 2 or 3 times. He never really cared for it. Didn't get one again with Lucy. Didn't have one with George. Didn't have one with Martin. The other item with Martin that we had that we didn't keep for any future babies was we had the Mamaroo. And it was a very sweet present, but we used it for about 6 weeks to get him to sleep. It was great because he still liked the movement. Then we transitioned him over to his crib, and he never really used it again. So not something I would go out and purchase. I think if we didn't have it, we would have just figured out a way to get him to sleep in his crib. So an okay item to have, but nothing I thought was something that I really needed to keep or wanted to store for future babies. So my other actual things that I would recommend getting, I love the Bumbo. We have used it with every single one of our little ones, and so she'll sit in a blue one, doesn't matter. But it is great for having your babies involved in exactly what you're doing, because I can put it up on the kitchen counter and she can sit there and cook with me or wash dishes with me. I can have her on we've used it with our babies to sit them in the middle of the dining room table so they're involved at mealtime when they're still too little for a high chair. Bumbos, I think, are great for when your baby hasn't quite learned how to sit up, but they have really good head control. Lucy has already sat in it once, but we did want to be right there with her because she's good with her head, but still a little too little for it full time. But I bet in about a month she'll be in it all the time. My other kids absolutely loved it, but their chunky little legs outgrow it pretty quick, but it is nice for a couple of months for sure, and very affordable, and you can find them used for like $5. But if you even buy it brand new, pretty inexpensive. We got it as a shower gift with my first and have loved it with every baby. The next item that we have is a high chair, and I would not say a high chair is actually an essential. We do have one, and we'll use it with Lucy, but all of my children by about a year old have wanted to be at the table and not in a high chair any longer. We have welcomed them at the table. We don't buy booster seats for them. They learn very quickly how to sit in the chair or stand in the chair, or we have benches at our table depending on their height, and we're there by them, but we have just let them have that independence from pretty early on and not use high chairs past then. So those are the things that I found really essential and great, and of course listed those 2 items, the Mamaroo and the Rock and Play, that we have tried and not decided to have for another child. 2 items that we don't currently have for Lucy that we will get. So again, on my kind of essentials list, just things that I have loved to have for my babies, is a jumper, like the extra saucer style jumper they can jump around in. All my babies have loved that, and it's a great way to have them in the living room or in the dining room while we're doing something, and they can burn off some energy because they're a little bit older and they have it. So I've loved one of those. We'll get one of those for Lucy. That's another great item to get secondhand or borrow from a friend, because they don't really show wear. They don't have a lot of fabric to them, so they're very easy to clean from the last person. So great item to get used and save some money again, or just borrow from a friend. Because remember, my channel is about minimalism and debt-free living, so I'm not going to recommend you go out and spend a lot of money on anything. The next item, Martin, I need you to be a little quieter, honey. Thank you. The next item would be a walker, and what I mean by that is like a push walker, one that once they're like standing up on things, like 7-8 months old, they can push it and walk around the house. Not the one they sit in. I know that all pediatricians will tell you those are bad for their hips. We've never had one, but the push walkers are great and very inexpensive. But like, we have a Once Upon a Child consignment store. I know those are pretty common, and you can get them for like $10. Or again, borrow it from your friend, borrow it from a friend if you don't have one from a previous child. So we will get one of those. All of our kids have walked at like 9 or 10 months old. I'm not saying that's because of those walkers, or even if you want your kid to walk that young, but I think they are great, and kids like the mobility of them from a pretty young age. So that is my exhaustive list of what I think you really need / we have for a baby. Again, if you were like bare bones budget, really wanting intense minimalism, there are definitely items on there you could do without. But that is what we have done with and have really enjoyed and loved. We have not done dock-a-tot. We have not done like baby bathtubs. As far as bath time with our babies, at a really young age, I bathe them in the sink. And my older kids, my older little ones, love sink baths as well. Still, for fun times, occasionally I'll put them in the kitchen sink. That's also just a great entertainment mid-afternoon if you're on the struggle bus, or if you're cooking dinner. Stick them in the sink. They love it. They're right there with you. They're nice and safe. But for the little ones, obviously, more attentive when you're giving them a sink bath. And then as they get a little bit older, I just fill the bathtub to a very low level and I let them take a bath in the bathtub. And obviously I'm right there with them the whole time, but they get to really splash and kick and really experience the water, and it's one less item to have to clean and tote around and store and all of that. So that is my list. As far as clothes, I would say if I just had to give a number, because again, if you watch my other videos, I don't count clothes all the time and make sure we're sticking to a certain amount. It's just a general idea of we're going to do things simply. So maybe 7 to 10 outfits for each size. But I would really encourage you to not buy clothes until your baby is here. I mean, have a couple of things, but you never know how slowly they're going to grow or how quickly, because each baby is completely different. Even if you've had one baby that was right on target, you might have a really tiny baby, or you might have a baby that is just crazy big. Lucy is 8 weeks old and she's in 6-month size clothing. So that means in the last about 7 to 8 weeks, she had to wear everything from the 0 to 3-month size, or she wasn't going to be able to wear it because she has already outgrown that stuff. And we didn't buy her anything. We had a shower. I bought her one dress that she hasn't worn yet. It's actually in a bigger size. And she has outgrown stuff that she never even got to wear, even keeping things that simply, because sometimes they grow really fast. So, 1 second, son. I like to buy things kind of as we go. If people give you money for your shower, or just presents that family members give you, or gift cards or whatever, we have done that. I bought her a couple things. I showed it in a haul for a 3-month size. She's already outgrown it, so I just bought her some 6-month clothes. But I bought her 3 little dresses because I'm not sure how long she's even going to be in this size, and she does have some stuff from her shower. So don't go crazy with the clothes. I know they're so, so cute, but you might be really sad that they only wear them once, or they don't get to wear them at all. Socks, pacifiers, all that stuff, really not something that I think are super necessary. We have never had a baby that likes pacifiers, and we live somewhere pretty warm, so socks are just not a big deal. They like to kick them off as they get older anyway. They're not really in shoes yet. So just buy as you go. Don't think that you need to go out there and have everything. You don't need a jumper the day you bring your baby home, because they're not going to be in the jumper for a while. So get to know your baby, get to know your family and your style, and then think about going out and purchasing things. Always make sure you can actually afford it. You're not going into debt for babies. I know in the U.S. they throw around the idea that children each cost $250,000, and that is absurd to me. I think it is up to you what your child costs. There are some essentials, but there are so many things that are just not essentials. I didn't mention we do have a couple of bottles. I have nursed all my babies. I've been fortunate to be able to do that, and Lucy's nursing like a champ. But eventually I will want her to take a bottle so that mommy can go on date nights without her and stuff like that. Even those, find a brand that you like, buy it, and hopefully the baby takes it. If your baby is like my last, Elliot, who just doesn't take bottles, he just refused until he was a year old and would take a sippy cup. Well, then you're just going to get creative and take them on date nights, or nurse them and have a quick date night and come back. But I was not going to go out and spend $100 on different types of bottles just to try and find one for him. Just keep things simple. They are babies for such a short while. I know all the grandmas tell you that, but it is so true. Hold them, snuggle them. They will not need this forever. They will grow out of your lap. So enjoy them, y'all. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. If you're a mama, leave in the comments down below what your one must-have baby item was. And I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.